Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about what being slain in the spirit actually means. And this is going to answer a question that perhaps most of you, maybe you have gone to some kind of a godly meeting. I don't want to restrict it to just conferences or caches or night vigilances for that matter. I just want to generalize it as you have attended a certain godly meeting. It could have been in a person's house, it could have been in a church, it could have been in a conference, what have you. It's just simply that you attended a meeting, either a friend invited you or someone maybe recommended maybe a certain person to pray for you, and so you went for that meeting with this person, and it so happened when you went to that meeting you are not the only person in line to be attended to, and then you started to see certain things that perhaps maybe put you off, or maybe you witnessed certain things that made you question what is really going on here, why am I here. So today we're going to be talking about those things, what being slain in the spirit actually means. All right. So have you ever attended a prophetic conference or attended a godly meeting for that matter, as I've said before, and you left the meeting asking yourself, why didn't I get slain? Why didn't I fall? Now, being in the spirit, or rather being slain in the spirit, does not mean anything. It is not that big of a deal. Why do I say that? Just because someone fell during a prophetic conference and that person who fell wasn't you, it doesn't mean that the person is more spiritual. It it could be you are dealing with a person who is a really brilliant stage actor, and they usually do that so that they can begin to now hype up this atmosphere in the meeting, so that people can get kind of riled up to catch up with the momentum of whatever move of God is taking place. Unfortunately, some apostles or certain prophets, they kind of hire these actors sometimes to do the stage acting thing, so that people can now begin to now kind of get encouraged, or they can start believing the power behind the man of God that is present. However, you could be a person who has attended certain meetings and you genuinely saw people being slain in the spirit. They fell, and you wondered, how come that didn't happen to me? So don't be of any negative opinion concerning that, because even me personally, I have gone to so many meetings, and out of all those many meetings, I never fell. And there was a time in my life I used to wonder if really there was something very wrong with me, because I would question, kwani, how come these people are being slain in the spirit like that? Is it that they are more spiritual, or is it that I am a sinner and perhaps I need to do more repenting in some certain area that I'm struggling with? But I have come to realize over the recent years that actually people get slain because they're entering into an altered state of consciousness, and also it is because they, in that moment that they are being slain in the spirit, they are temporarily experiencing something that their physical body is not able to handle. Okay, so while they're in the altered state, their spirit and their soul get caught up in that other worldly dimension. Okay, so when that happens to them, they are not aware that they are on the floor at the time that they are being slain in the spirit. They really do not they do not sense at all any, like, they have no inkling whatsoever that they're on the floor. For them, they've had this kind of like an OBE, an out of body experience. Okay, it's not astral projection. I'm not talking about astral projection. I'm simply saying they just, for them, it is in their DNA perhaps, and it so happens when the move of God started to take place in the meeting, they just were able to immediately get in line into the other worldly dimension. So usually for people who genuinely are slain in the spirit, and you see them on the ground, when they come to, they even wonder, how on earth did I end up there? How on earth did I end up falling? Because even when they leave the meeting, okay, they, in a sense, if somebody was to ask them if they felt any form of physical pain, they usually say they didn't feel anything. Okay, so it's because they ascended without forcing themselves to fall down. Okay, now sometimes the best thing, if you're the person who's skeptical, you're a cynic, or you're these people who during godly meetings, you're this person who likes to be very, can I say, spectating. You're like a journalist mode. When people are being slain in the spirit, or people are praying or something, there are certain meetings I've attended where you find some people, you wonder, so ulikuja hii meeting na intention gani? Because ulikuja na nia gani? Because the person is just busy looking everywhere. They're looking to the right, to the left. Now they start getting uncomfortable. Some of them, they start walking out during such hyped up atmospheres. They start going to they start going to the toilet, they come back, you're like, dude, ulikuja hii meeting na nia gani? Because you're not being discerning of this move of God right now. So sometimes the best thing, if you're that person, tafadhali please, the best thing you can do, just chill. If you happen to be in a meeting and you're seeing people genuinely being slain in the spirit, and you cannot sense the spirit of God whatsoever physically, you can't sense anything, then just sit where you are. Okay, just sit down where you are. Even if you feel uncomfortable, sit where you are. God is going to attend to you in his own way. You do not have to necessarily fall, or you don't have to start feeling like, man, this is so weird, I want to get out of here, that kind of thing. Don't do that. Just sit down where you are, just chill. God is going to move. Okay, and just because you didn't fall, also, as I've said before, it doesn't mean that you're not as spiritual as the others. It might mean maybe it's just not within your capacity, perhaps, maybe because you're not trained yet, you're not practiced yet, you haven't really delved deep to understand the training up of the senses. So that could be one factor that is contributing to you not being able to tune in to the move of God during certain moments in those godly meetings. Okay, another thing I have also come to observe personally, as I have attended many godly meetings in the past, I have seen these women who are very guilty of forcing themselves to fall, and then after the meeting, they went home with something that is broken in their body. Okay, so these women, some of them, they literally mechanize themselves. They literally wave their hands backward so much until you fall, but as you fall, you end up hurting yourself physically. Okay, and sometimes I think some women, because it's you're trying to create some kind of hype, or maybe you're trying, I don't know, to get some attention or whatever that is, they end up, they cannot admit to that stunt that they did, that it was a very foolish thing that they did in the first place. They're just doing some foolish theatrics to seek attention from the man of God, or to seek attention from maybe a prospective other person, and a prospective brethren in the meeting, who will look at them and think they are so spiritual, they are so in tune with God and everything else. I don't think falling has to do with anything. Personally, I just think if your heart is in the right place, you have the right intentions, even if you don't feel anything, just relax. Just relax and let God do his thing. Don't be so caught up in feeling tempted to compete with with these people who, who are, doing certain theatrics, to seek attention in a meeting. I mean, sometimes I look at such women, I just wonder, hey, hiyo bill utalipa for the broken back, or I mean, whatever that is damaged in the body. Are you sure you're ready to incur that? And maybe that person, they're in a very bad financial state, and now you want to add more, you want to inflict your body, and you want to add more financial burdens to yourself. Personally, I don't know. Personally, I don't think falling down is necessarily a sign that God touched you. I've seen God moving in many ways, and God is not a person who is tied to people necessarily falling down when they're big, caught up in the spirit. Personally, I don't believe that. I just tend to think God has his own way of administering to people of different personalities and different character types and the like. Okay, so as I've said, let God be the one to decide whether you're going to fall or not. Okay, let God be the one to decide whether you're going to ascend dimensionally in the meeting or not. Because what matters at the end of the day is a relationship that you have cultivated with Yahweh, with Yeshua HaMashiach, with Ruach HaKodesh. That is more important than falling down in the meeting. Okay, so if you're those people, you've been wondering, nikienanga kwa godly meetings, when I go for prayer meetings, for example, or night vigilance, for example, and then maybe the man of God calls, maybe he calls for some kind of administration, and then people are lining up at the front there. Then you see some people fall, I've seen sometimes there's this danger of, I call it the mob psychology, where you find somebody's like, even me, I should pretend to fall so that I don't want to embarrass the man of God, or I don't want to embarrass the apostle, I don't want to embarrass the prophetess, or what have you. Me, I think, I don't know, personally, I don't know, I don't like it personally. There are some things I just don't like. Just be yourself. If you don't feel like falling, don't fall. Embarrass the man of God if you need to. I don't know. Why would I incur such an expense for my body? I mean, why? Did I come to incur some liability on myself by falling down backwards? Honestly, man, I have too many burdens. I came to the meeting expecting God to move in his own way. If your heart is in the right place, personally, me, what I think, if your heart is really in the right place, God will do his own administration the way he chooses to. Whether you fall down or not, God will move. He created you. He created all of us. So don't buy into these theatrics, okay? If you're the kind of person like me, you've gone to night vigilances, prophetic conferences, you've gone to whatever godly meeting, and maybe during prayer people started to and even since some women they start to scream, you're like, God, what is going on here? I want to get out of here because this is crazy. Why did I come here? Because hii vituko mimi honey child, please. Anyway, I'll stop here for today. I think that was the only thing I had in concern lately that I just wanted to share, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Until then, have a good one. Bye.